Welcome back, everybody. Today's video is going to be talking about the top 3 heroes in every role this meta. I've been getting asked the question a lot for people that are coming back, what they should be picking right now, and this is attempting to answer that, as well as the people that are looking to spam the meta because they've been playing and they want to make sure they're picking the right heroes. Let's go ahead and get started. So the 5 position right now seems like it's a lot about heroes that scale really well while also securing the late game, and they have some sort of like natural survivability mechanic or save. So the heroes that come to mind that I see the most and feel the most powerful are Treant Protector, Warlock, and Venge. The reason why these 3 heroes are not only strong in lane, but also in game is because they are such powerful counter initiation save heroes that are also kind of difficult to kill. Like Warlock's going to be really far in the back. Venge eventually gets an Ag Scepter, and Treant Protector, once he gets Shard, is a strength hero that's invisible. So Treant has Overgrowth Living Armor in order to save his teammates. Warlock has Upheaval plus Golem, and Venge has Swap. And now the fact that Wave of Terror does minus damage, if you're not killing the Venge, everybody's just doing less damage while her team is doing more damage. So all 3 of these heroes look to secure the lane and then once again become must-kill targets in the late game, and that's not exactly something that's easy to accomplish given the way that these heroes operate. Coming in at the 4 position, what I'm seeing with the 4 position right now is heroes that, yeah, they lane pretty well. They offer some harass. I'm predominantly seeing ranged 4s right now, but they're heroes that can also either totally gimp the enemy carry or turn into carries themselves. So the most popular hero that's actually propping up at Dream League a lot is Willow. She has a natural survivability mechanic with the Shadow Realm. She has counter initiation with the Terrorize, and then her Bedlam makes it so she doesn't have to go into fights anymore because she can place it on a teammate. And then people are just going Midas, like second item, and eventually just going like Ags, Mask of Madness, Dragonlance kind of items in the late game. And so the fact that she has natural survivability, you have to target her, but then she also ends up killing you later on in the game. Not just like the fact that she's counter initiation, but she's also just killing you. She becomes like an Enchantress type support. It's just making her late game scale really hard, and it feels like right now, heroes that can buy like 2 or 3 seconds of time are incredibly impactful against the current cores, especially the carries that are popular, which we'll get to later. But you'll kind of understand, like, if a hero can survive for an extra 2 or 3 seconds, that's really powerful in this current meta because the carries are very burst heavy. Shadow Demon specifically, very good against the carries as well, but he also represents a disruption, the save, another 2 or 3 second save that prevents the opponent from bursting his teammates. Notice how he's another hero that has to get focused in fights, but then also his Ag Scepter that breaks just absolutely destroys so many of the heroes in the meta right now, and it just feels like that plus the Demonic Cleanse Shard, using that on his teammates, it's just like all these heroes are buff centric, counter initiation, buff centric. And then the last hero is actually one of my favorite heroes that I don't see too much in competitive right now, but Shadow Shaman. I just feel like this hero always scales because he has tons of disables. The Hex is probably one of the best single target spells in the entire game because it now also amps all damage sources. And the fact that I have pick off potential as well as the ability to actually threaten objectives, Roche, as well as towers with my Serpent Wards, I just feel very powerful in the game and influential in the late game as a support. My only struggle with him is kind of the laning phase. He's a little bit awkward because he's low range, and some of these carries like Phantom Assassin kind of just murder you. Coming in at the off lane, we're still seeing a lot of Blade Mail meta, but we're also seeing just bruisers that run around on a low cooldown. That's kind of just what we're seeing right now. Heroes that get up in your face, low cooldown. You know, you don't see Dawnbreaker in this list. She's still pretty powerful, but I'm seeing a ton of Kunkka and Primal, heroes that get flexed to the mid lane. They serve the same purpose. They do a ton of damage, utility, in team fights. Like, their abilities themselves just do everything that they need. They offer catch, like X marks the spot, works incredibly well against BKB because it can be applied to the person that's BKBing. So as long as you apply it in the last 4 seconds, they will get X marked. Primal Beast has a BKB piercing disable. So all these heroes, like, they have weird interactions with BKB or buffed interactions with BKB that just make them strong counters against BKBs. And then they also are just like strength heroes that can buy Blade Mail, right? They can have 3,000 HP in a Blade Mail, and that makes them incredibly hard to bring down. And they can also go teamfight items. So they have multiple builds, low cooldown wave clear. They have Tidebringer from Kunkka and Trample from Primal Beast. And this low cooldown wave clear allows them to move around the map, allows them to be constantly active, operating with virtually no downtime. And then Razor specifically, I just put him as the ranged hero in the off lane because he's very good against Gyrocopter, very good against Sven, and he also just kind of against any of these carries that lack mobility. Really, any of the carries that like stand their ground with Satanic, Razor just absolutely dumpsters him. So he's a hero that if you see those heroes getting picked, any of the standstill carries, Razor just absolutely destroys them. The only concern you have to have is whether or not you or your mid is lacking stuns, right? Because as a Razor, you don't offer the catch that these other offlaners will offer. Coming in at mid lane, this mid lane right now is all about, kind of already said it with the Kunkka and the Primal, low cooldown, consistent activity. I will say Earth Spirit is absolutely bonkers. I just got absolutely destroyed by no one today. So he's a TI player from the Eastern European region, and I've just been seeing Earth Spirit prop up all the time in my games. And basically what I see is this hero can just clear the wave really fast because Boulder does 1.4x damage to creeps, and then he just roams around the map on no cooldown. He literally just kills both side lanes, goes through the portal, kills another side lane, goes back mid, clears a wave, goes back side lanes, kills people. I just see really good Earth Spirits just camping side lanes. Pango isn't as low cooldown as Earth Spirits, but it's kind of the same idea. He has a quick wave clear, the swashbuckle, leaves lane, rotates, gets that defusal. Once he has defusal, he doesn't actually rely on roll anymore. He can kill people without it. So then he becomes like all these other mids. And because of the way they reworked Shield Crash to be a flat amount of damage, in the early game, his laning stage is way more reliable, making it so a lot of his counter matchups are not like unplayable like they used to be. He actually wins a lot of matchups that he previously lost. And then the other pool of heroes, I put Dazzle here. We're seeing a ton of it at Dream League. I already believed in it, and I see like a ton of different builds on him. But the other heroes that are good, you see, like I mentioned, the two heroes you see, Earthshakers being seen, Primal, Kunkka mid. The other heroes that are good are ranged heroes that dumpster the melee heroes. So Dazzle specifically with Poison Touch as well as Shadow Wave just kind of shits on these melee heroes in lane like really hard. We saw like tripling up in CS between Thompson and Laurel, both directions. We saw Earth Spirit versus Dazzle. Dazzle shit on Earth Spirit both games from both players. And so that's what Dazzle offers. That's why I also include like Quap in my mind of a mid laner. I'm even considering something like Death Prophet as maybe an answer, but it's basically low cooldown melee heroes that look to run over your entire team, and your only choice is to also pick that so you can counter rotate, or to pick a hero that dumpsters them so hard in lane that they can't do that. That's really the only options I've seen. I feel like in the mid lane right now, it's very pigeonholed in the meta. Like there's just no other choice. These heroes are just eons above all others, and if you're not picking one of them, you better be hard countering them if you see them, otherwise you just lose. And it's not that you just lose your lane. These heroes snowball every other lane as well. They just kill everybody. PS, don't pick Storm Spirits. I've had like 3 Storm Spirits against Earth Spirits, and the Storm Spirits like sitting in lane while the Earth Spirit's killing his entire team, and don't need to see that anymore. Thank you. Last but not least is the carry role. You guys have heard from me in the tier list, but we're just going to make sure we highlight it again in this video. Sven, I still put it number 1 for the patch for all the reasons we've already seen. Solid item timings, tons of burst damage, kills people in 2 hits in the late game, can pretty much have an item for everybody in the game, and he's basically getting targeted by every pick in the meta right now. Like heroes like Shadow Demon are propping up because they're good against Sven. Like that. That's kind of just how it is. Like, Sven divines so much of the meta right now. PA, we're seeing a ton of that in pubs as well as in pro. When you see Phantom Assassin in pro Dota, then she's broken. Right? Like, that's a hero that's always been a pub stomper. So we're basically just seeing that if PA often wins her lane, the game's just over. She does often win her lane, and if that's the case, she just free farms and the game's over because you never find her. She gets like this Battle Fury, Deso Ags, BKB, and then she's just two-shotting everybody. And if she falls behind, I always feel like PA's one team fight away, one slip-up away, misposition away from just rampaging your entire team. Somebody steps out of position, PA kills that guy, has Ags, blurs, jumps another person, kills them, and the process repeats itself. And then Gyrocopter, I think he's still the 3rd best carry in the game right now, but I do think like Sven, PA are just in their own echelon of carry right now, but I'm still liking Gyrocopter, same reasons as before. I just think his laning stage is a bit more fragile than it was before because of the flat cannon early level nerfs. So keep an eye out, like be careful with Gyro. You want to make sure you have like a frontlining 5, something like a tree to secure your lane. And as long as Gyro has a good lane, he's still like the menace that he was before the nerfs. He just comes online and kills everybody by standing still. So that's it for this meta. You know, 7.34C right now going into TI. I imagine is going to be the TI patch. These are the 3 heroes in every role that you guys need to be looking to play. We can see a quick list of them once again in case you forgot. Let me know what you guys think of my list. Let me know how you guys are doing with these heroes in pubs. Love to hear from you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.